few nights ago, I received the most disturbing phone call of my life. And that may sound dramatic to you, but I promise it's not, because around 1 a.m. on last Thursday, my phone rang. I checked to see who's calling me this late in the night, and what does it say? No caller ID. So at first, I quickly decline it, assuming it's spam and not thinking anything more of it. But about 10 seconds pass, and once again, I get a call. Who's it from? No caller ID once again. So now I'm starting to get curious, because usually if it's a spam call, it won't come this late at night. And they're definitely not going to immediately call you back when you decline. So this time, I decide to answer it. But immediately when I do, the person on the other side is screaming. But not only that, they're also threatening me. They're saying things like,
I'm on my way to your house right now. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna touch you.
No, they didn't say that last part. I'm joking. Don't threaten me with a good time though. Huh? So although they're saying all these threats, none of it is really scaring me, because I'm just assuming they have the wrong number. But then they said one thing that changed my whole mood. What'd they say? My name. I knew it was no longer just another normal scam call. So now I'm starting to get worried, because this person is calling me in the middle of the night, threatening that they're on their way to hurt me, and they somehow knew my name. And if you're anything like me, you're probably thinking, okay, maybe it's not a scam call, but it's probably just one of your friends pranking you. And that's why they called you using no caller ID. Or you might be thinking, Tyler, this is just one of the thousands of girls that have a crush on you messing around because they like you. Nah, I know no one was thinking that, don't worry. I'm just joking anyway. Last time I talked to a female my age was when I was still in diapers. So about 2 years ago. But I knew this wasn't the case, that it was just one of my friends prank calling me. Because after I realized the potential danger I was in, I copied the phone number and pasted it into the phone app to see if I recognized it, and I didn't. But still, the next logical thing to think was that it was still someone prank calling me, but they were just using their friend's phone. But that couldn't have been true either, because when I pasted the phone number into the app, I looked up the area code the call was coming from, and that was when I saw it was from New York. Now, although I've been to New York a few times, I don't know anyone there that would do this. So the New York area code ruled out any possibility that this was just a prank call from someone I knew. And listen, I don't know if any of you have ever been to New York, but for those of you who haven't, let me tell you, the people over there are a different breed. You don't want to mess with them. I've been on the subway before, and this girl would literally open the doors while it was moving, flying through the tunnels, and she would just go from cart to cart asking everyone for money. She was 5'0" and weighed about as much as the cinnamon stick from the Applejack cereal box. Yet somehow, she was able to open those doors like the Hulk. And when she came to ask me for money, I said no, because I didn't have any. Like, it was 2024, everyone's broke. So she reacted by doing this to me. Do you have any money? No? Okay. And then she laughed when I reacted by flinching. Yes, I did flinch when a girl that would get swept away if the wind was anything over 8 miles per hour pretended to jump at me. I ain't ashamed of it. Like I said, this girl was the Hulk. If you've ever watched The Avengers or Batman and think it's fictional, no, it's not. That's just New York. So I ain't trying to mess with anyone that's calling me from an area code around there. You ever met someone and they said, don't worry, I don't bite? Yeah. Well, they do in New York. So after they threatened to come to my house and finish screaming at me, I kept trying to ask them questions. But anytime I would try saying anything, they would just start screaming over me again. So eventually, I told them I was just gonna hang up if they kept interrupting me. And that was the one thing that finally got them to stop yapping. Once they calmed down a little bit, I asked them who they were. Their response to that was,
oh, don't play stupid, Tyler. You know who I am.
And I was like, no, I really don't. That's why I asked the question. But after I gave them that little bit of attitude, they got frustrated because they thought I was messing with them. So they just hung up. Now this gave me two options. Number one, just pretend none of this ever happened and assume that the person calling me knew my name by coincidence. Or number two, do some investigating to figure out exactly who this was that was calling me. And you guys know me. I'm a man. I ain't afraid of whoever this person is. If you want beef with me, it's up. You picked the wrong guy to mess with. So what I do? Choose option one. I was lying about being tough. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm all bark, no bite. Don't get me wrong. I'm not afraid to talk smack online. But the moment it gets real, I'm out. Like when I was 12, I got in a fight with this kid from my school over text. And I told him that when I saw him in class the next day, I was gonna make sure he couldn't walk anymore. Wait, pause.
Hey, yo, what the?
But what I do when the next day came around? I stayed home, told my mom I was sick, and I just didn't show up. So after choosing option one of not doing any investigating into who this person is, I went to bed. But just as I finally cleared my mind and stopped thinking about the situation, I heard my phone vibrate once, then twice. So I got up to check it and saw that I was getting a bunch of texts now. And obviously, when you're texting someone, unlike making a call, you can't use no caller ID. So I was able to see the phone number of the person texting me, and it was the same one from the calls. But the next thing that happened is where I knew I couldn't just avoid the situation any longer, and I had to do something. Because he was making me really nervous with the text messages he was sending me. The first ones that he sent me were pretty much the same things as the one he said over the phone. Like he was calling me ugly and stupid. Nothing I haven't already said to myself in the mirror before. So my new theory was that this D1 hater was just a person that knew me from social media, and he somehow got my number, so he was just messing with me. But then the text started to get really disturbing because he was now sending personal information about me. First, he texted me the address of where I live. Then, he sent the address of where I used to live, but then he took it even a step further and started saying information about my family. Like he named all my siblings from oldest to youngest, and he somehow knew all their birthdays, and he was just saying this stuff one by one. He was like, Candace, 1998, Phineas, 2001, Ferb, actually, scratch that. Those are characters from a TV show. That's not what he said. But he said my siblings' names and birthdays, and then he also typed out my parents. I really started to get goosebumps because then he was describing really specific things about my family. Like he somehow knew my mom has broken her ankle before. Just weird things like that you wouldn't know unless you were close with me. But like I said, their area code was from New York. And with how threatening some of the things they were saying were, I thought there was no way it could have been someone I knew personally. Don't get me wrong. I know some people that don't like me, but I don't got ops like this. The biggest enemy I have is a lady who works at Walmart because I tried using self-checkout one time to buy a flat screen TV for the price of an apple and she caught me. I should have got away with it too. But these are the types of people I have beef with. Not the Joker. So I'm texting this person back trying to figure out who they are, but they're just kind of ignoring everything I say and spamming these wild texts until eventually, to test if this person was actually dangerous or if they were just someone that was messing with me, I texted them saying I was gonna file a police report because of all the threats they were sending me. And I was kind of being like half honest and half bluffing at the same time because I was genuinely thinking about doing it if I thought something bad actually might happen. But I also mostly said it because I wanted to see how they would react. If right there they admitted to it being a prank, I wouldn't be worried anymore. But if my threat didn't scare them, then now I'd start to be really worried. But when I sent that text, you know how they responded? With laughing emojis. Dog, what kind of villain am I texting right now? That was like the creepiest way they could have responded because it showed they did not care about what I just said at all. I don't want to take my chances with someone who's not scared of me filing a police report. So I decided to text my dad asking what to do because parents know the answer to everything. Unless it's about technology, then they're useless. No offense, mom and dad. I don't think they watch my videos anyway. You know what? Let's see if they do actually. Mom, Dad, if either of you are watching this video, prove it to me by giving me $100 next time we see each other. Love you guys. So after I told my dad about this, although I could tell he was pretty uneasy about the situation too, he was way more calm than me and he said to just go spend a night at a friend's house and then we'll deal with it in the morning. So that's what I did. I stopped texting the person for the night, went to someone's house who I knew and just stayed there. But then morning came around and I was pretty much 100% sure that I was gonna file a police report because I didn't want this to go on any longer until I get another text. So I check it assuming that it's once again my biggest hater, but to my surprise, it was a different number. I was low-key kind of hoping it was the same person from last night because I don't really got that many people that want my attention like that, so it was kind of flattering, even if they were threatening me and my family. Every friendship has its struggles though. But back to this new person texting me. What do they have to do with the whole situation? Well, this new person had the same area code as the person from last night. And prior to this, I couldn't recall ever getting any phone calls or texts from a number with this area code. So the odds of me getting texts from two different people with that same area code within 24 hours was basically impossible. I knew they must have known each other. But the text that this new person was sending was a lot different from the person last night because they were being super kind. Their first text said, "Hey, can we talk?" So I respond asking who this is and they tell me they're related to the person that was contacting me last night. At first, I kind of just thought it was the same person from last night, but they got a new number to contact me. Wouldn't have surprised me based off everything else this person did. They could have told me they were casting spells at this point and I would have believed it. But I still had no idea what their goal was with this whole thing because as far as I knew, they didn't show up to my house the night before like they said they were going to. But at the same time, they did not flinch when I said I was going to file a police report against them. So what could they possibly be trying to achieve with all of this? Well, this new number helped me understand it a little bit more because I told them I did not believe they were a different person from the one that was texting me the night before. So they called me and confirmed it because I could clearly tell the person calling me today was a girl, while the one from yesterday sounded like a guy. But in the call, I asked her how she knew about everything that just happened the night before, and she told me she was this guy's cousin. Also, I told her in the beginning of the phone call that if she was messing with me too, I was gonna put her in the police report. And she understood that, so I kind of trusted whatever she said. Because I'd hope you wouldn't be dumb enough to lie or make the situation worse when I'm saying that you're gonna be in the police report too. Then I asked her to explain this whole situation to me, and she did. But out of all the possible reasons for them doing this that I thought of, the real explanation was nothing like I expected. So here it is. Apparently, the person who was threatening me the night before has a brother, and that brother ran away from their family for reasons they wouldn't tell me. But I guess he just did not want to be found by them. So in an effort to find his brother, this stalker did a bunch of research all over social media. Eventually, after looking through a bunch of posts on Instagram that his brother was tagged in, he found my brother's page. They happened to be at the same concert and my brother tagged him in a photo, I guess, so that led him to my family, which then led him to finding my page. And he saw that I had a decent sized following, so he decided to contact me. But wait, Tyler, this doesn't explain at all why he was threatening you, or how he found information about you and your family. Well, what his cousin told me is that apparently he suffers from manic episodes. So there will be days where he's just a completely different person and says crazy things because of this. His cousin even sent me screenshots of text messages this guy has sent to her before, saying he knew me personally, and he would literally Photoshop pictures to make it look like he was with me. So when he goes through these manic episodes, he struggles a lot. But how did he know all this information about me and my family that only someone who knew us personally would know? Well, apparently, his dad worked for the government, and I guess he would use his dad's work computer to find information that he wanted to know about people. So that's where he found all this stuff. And the cousin said when he has these manic episodes, he goes crazy looking into all these different people and finding out every single detail about their life. She said we're in no harm and this happens all the time, and he was back to normal now. But just in case, I'm sleeping with nunchucks under my bed from now on.